Oh, we're pulling stuff out. All right, this will be fun.
I'm just leaving it all in. Wait, that's not right either.
That's not right either. So we are back in the studio again. It seems to be what we do this week and last week and every other week. And of course we're on the 2-shot right away, so we might as well, you're not actually looking at a single shot of me 2 times. I know it looks like it's me.
Well, to us, not to the
we
folks
have my
at
twin.
home.
We have my twin, Rob Archer.
Oh, yes.
We were
that.
Thank you so much for finding me on Jarvis today. It was a lot of fun. He gave me some clothes. I'm feeling a little naked out of my ripped stocking, but it was great meeting you guys.
The same
It's still
problem.
dusk.
Plenty of time. Rob, thank you for coming in because.
Thank you for wanting to talk to me.
Dude.
Finally.
I was like, how could we have been your first? I mean, it's like, who would want to talk to you and get all kinds of... I mean, already we've just started rolling, but we've actually got 10 minutes of inside stuff, of stuff that's gone on in his life. He's got stories you wouldn't believe, and it's going to be a great episode, so it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, where did you find out the stories from? Because that scares me a little bit.
Oh, Trina. We love Trina. She needs to come back real soon.
I swear it was vanilla pudding. That's all I have to say. It was pudding.
Wow. Wow. Alright, we're going to start really simple, because this is one we always like to ask.
And that's where my mentality is, so it works for me.
It's going to work well for everybody then. This is good, because it's only Monday. All-time favorite movie?
Ooh, that's an easy one actually. Shawshank Redemption.
Nice!
Shawshank Redemption, I honestly felt there is no other movie that has been so perfectly casted to every single character. And every time I watch that movie, I find something new. I fall in love. You fall in love with a little bit more every single time. Now, that being my favorite movie for so many years, being able to work with Morgan Freeman on the movie Red was amazing. Like, I don't get starstruck, but there's certain people that you know you've worked with all your life, and to hear Morgan Freeman and his very soothing voice say shit and stuff like it's the funniest thing in the world. It's just you hear some of the profanity come out and it's like, did he just say that?
Did Morgan Freeman just
He just said the F word and it was the coolest thing. But he says it with his normal face and he just smiles after, right? So because you don't know, it's just he's joking.
It's okay.
But he was amazing to work for, and Shawshank Redemption is an easy first.
It's one of those movies that, because I usually just throw a movie on in the background while I do other stuff.
Right.
But anytime that's on, I can't.
You have to watch it.
You have to watch
it.
It is so casted so perfectly.
Love it. That's true. And you're a Toronto boy.
Yes, I am.
Born and raised.
Country boy, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I actually worked on farms and whatnot growing up. And you as well?
I didn't work on a farm.
It's
I grew up in Creekmore, though.
It's like a farm, right?
It's like a farming community.
Okay.
There are farms around it.
It smells like a farm.
So you can't...
We drank beer. That counts for something, right? Yeah, I grew up farming. I grew up in Caledon.
Okay.
Caledon, Ontario, in the sticks. And my best friend had a farm. I worked on the farm all year round. I played... what's it called, fast pitch or windmill throughout the farm leagues and everything. So traveling to all these towns that nobody's ever heard of to play ball on an 8 p.m. on a Sunday night was kind of how I grew up. And country boy. Very simple, upbringing in the country, and then got totally corrupted when I came into the city.
Yes.
We all did.
Yeah. Farm boy tattoos, right? People look at me like, how many tattoos do you have? I was like, I have no clue, but I have somewhere in between 160 and 170 hours. And like, you grew up in the States or down in the city? It's like, nope, baling hay, man. Baling hay, milking cows.
I have one.
I even joined Junior Farmers. How's that?
That's awesome.
That's something nobody knows.
Creekmore
But that
has
was
a
just
big
so I could go to the
Junior
dances.
See?
That was just so I could go to the
exactly.
dances, yeah. Farming, farm girls.
There's definitely a feel of it,
Idiot adolescent. I'm in.
Write it on.
P.S. I'm still like that. But anyways.
Are you still a junior farmer?
An idiot. No, not a junior farmer anymore.
I don't think they let...
But I don't mind the farm girls, but
Right?
yeah.
Right? But anyway, I'm not going to go down that road. I'm in so much trouble. No,
Well, I'm gonna get in trouble when I go home, but it's all good. I'm safe on this side right now.
That's
So,
right. As soon as
yeah.
the camera stops, you're in
Yeah.
so much trouble.
I got my Fox 40 whistle, and maybe I'll get a couple hits. But it'll be okay. Well deserved.
Now, having a look at your IMDb page, you started with stunts first.
I actually, I started with an acting role. My very, very first real gig
Right.
outside of a music video and a commercial was Bulletproof Monk,
Yes.
which was
Buzz,
an acting
right?
role.
Yeah.
I played Buzz. To this day, I still don't know how I got that role. I went in for 2 or 3 auditions. I actually auditioned for the character of Sax first, which
Okay,
Casey
yeah.
Collins ended up playing,
Cool.
and who I also work with on Lost Girl. And I went in and I read for that, and then I came home and they gave me another script, and I started reading through it, and I was like, why aren't they getting me to read for Buzz? That sounds more like me. And so I went back and I'm watching this guy that's on his 3rd callback, Pedro Miguel Arce,
Yep.
okay? And I didn't personally know him at the time, but I knew he was in the nightlife, he bounced and whatnot, and I sat there and watched him play the role of Buzz, and I looked at the guy that I was auditioning with, and I was like, there's no way I'm getting this, that guy's really good, like, really good. Next thing you know, I'm sitting in his spot, and I'm doing, you know, the lines and whatnot, and they call me the next day and say, yeah, we're gonna book you.
Yeah.
You know this is Robin
Yeah.
Pedro, right?
Do you have the correct phone number?
It was the biggest thing ever in my life, and I couldn't believe it. And Pedro Miguel Arce now is my best friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I went and I filmed, and we ended up doing an audition for some Quaker bar or something shortly after Bulletproof Monk was filmed.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, hey. We started talking, and we've been best friends ever
That's
since.
That's what he did.
He's actually, Pedro is who worked with me for my audition for Bioman on
Nice.
Defiance. It was, the Defiance audition was the biggest thing I've ever done in my life.
Yeah.
That audition, I had no clue what was going on. I had no idea what a bioman was going to look for. I'm just written bioman. I got a biohazard on my neck. I'm already
It's the
set.
same thing.
Yeah, I'm in.
Ready.
And so I'm looking at it, and it was a full-page monologue, like a giant monologue. And then there was 2 pages of dialogue. And I'm just looking at it, and I'm going, this is an audition? Do I get paid for it? And it was the first time I ever took things really, really seriously.
Yeah.
And I wanted it so badly. Like, I'd never wanted anything so badly. And I studied and studied and studied, and Pedro worked with me. And at the end of it, he gave me the biggest hug and said, I'm proud of you. And I go, what? And he goes, it's not that I didn't know you were capable, but all these years, this is the first time I actually saw you take it seriously. And
Yeah.
I'm blown away, man.
Wow.
So he's the reason.
Wicked.
Now
Somebody
you
who
know
I
you're
beat out
capable.
11 years ago for a role that he was set in
Yeah.
was the one who prepared me for
That's
my
cool.
Defiance audition. He also prepared me for when I guest starred on 13 with Stuart Townsend.
Yeah,
cool.
He prepared me for that as well. So Pedro is, you know, a guy that I stole a role from. To this day, I still don't know how. But 10 and 11 years later, he's the one that's getting me ready for all the big gigs
That's
that are
so cool.
making
Yeah.
my name what
Yeah.
it is today. And it's just amazing.
That's awesome.
Right now, my girl and I are producing movies and
Wicked.
getting some things going. We're starting up with a film in September called Befall, and there was a role actually written for Pedro in that. I'm very big on bringing my very small circle of friends and putting them in, you know,
Yeah.
as I go.
Totally.
Very much
Yeah.
the way Sandler does his film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Tom Hanks, you know, he carries, you know, a small group of
Okay.
guys all the time. Well, I want to be that guy. You know,
Yeah.
I love my hard work and the sacrifices and the downfalls and everything that comes in this crazy business. And when you start getting somewhere and getting a step after another step,
Yeah.
it's like, you know what? Who helped me get here?
Exactly.
You're
Yeah.
with me.
Yeah.
You're with me.
Yeah.
And it's just the most amazing thing to give back.
Oh,
Yeah.
totally.
You know, because when you give back, if I didn't have Pedro, $20 says I wouldn't be here right now. You know, so I want to do something. You know, I want
Oh,
him
hell yeah.
to be
Yeah.
able to launch off of me somewhere. You know, and we always made a deal: whoever gets launched first takes the other.
That's
So,
Yeah.
It's just cool. It's fun that way.
And then back and forth.
And it's back and
Yeah,
forth,
'cause
yeah.
we've got like the same kind of deal,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, once I take off and get that chat show and then
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah, it's,
Yeah,
it's
I'll
almost
bring
like
you water,
a,
actually.
it's almost like a relay, you know what I mean? Like you're helping each other, you're
Yeah.
helping each other. And
Yeah.
all your boys or your friends are, you know, up at your level and,
Oh,
you know, oh yeah, you'll be perfect in there.
Yeah.
You know, and I love that. It's great.
Yeah, we actually do try and kind of foster that kind of thing, not only
Yeah.
between us, but with like everybody we bring in, because we end up finding out that we end up being fairly good friends with most of the people we've now
Yeah.
brought in, and then we all just kind of make sure we involve one another in each other's lives. And
So are you saying you want to be involved with me
we're
and my
buddies
friend?
now.
Yeah.
We're buddies now. Yeah.
Awesome.
We have history now.
Yeah, we don't know this yet, but
Oh.
Yeah, we'll make it up if we have to. That's true. But yeah, I love that. I love that mentality because
Thank
you
you.
don't hear a lot of that from like stateside.
Yeah.
You don't hear as much of that as you would. As
Yeah.
you would in Canada.
Well, there's a lot of people. I believe in sharing everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that put it into perspective this way. I'm a big sports enthusiast. You take the New York Rangers like 6 years ago. They had like 7 captains on the team,
Yeah.
elite players. Okay, that any team in the NHL would kill to have on their
Sure.
team. They couldn't do anything together because they all had one-man heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? But when you have people that feed off of each other and work with each other and share, you get so much further.
Oh,
It might, you know what I mean?
yeah.
It might take you a little bit longer here. It might
Yeah.
you may not make as much money here, but in the long run,
It's gotta pay
you're
off.
going to be number one.
Yeah.
It's the ones that me. Well, you might get to their A to B a lot quicker, but you're going to phase out real
Oh,
quick too,
yeah.
because chances are you stepped on people, you stabbed people in the back, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, so I'd rather share and have, you know,
Okay.
my friends and, you know, share my success and whatnot
Oh, yeah.
with them, you know.
Never burn a bridge.
Yeah.
Never burn a bridge.
And I mean, really, when you start to realize that you can't do everything by yourself,
Exactly.
or if you can, you're just not going to get as far. Like
Exactly.
everybody builds each other up. It
Yeah.
works way better
Oh
Yeah.
hell yeah.
every time in every scenario.
We're totally good at that. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Burning
Yeah, we
bridges or
are.
building people up?
Both.
Oh.
It depends on which job.
I'm really good at mucking things up. Oh yeah. No,
He is.
I don't want to talk about it a lot because obviously I'm sure you actually get asked a lot about it. How often do you work out? Ryan? What is it like? Are you like working
Oh,
out 8 hours
I
a
don't
day?
work out.
Oh,
I
yeah.
I mean,
actually,
just naturally.
I have Suzanne Sommer's Thigh Master,
That's all it
and I
takes.
sit at home and pretend like I'm having orgasms and doing that, and then I do one sit up every other day and eat asparagus, and that's about it. What's the gym?
I've been doing something so wrong.
Yeah.
So wrong.
Actually, I train about an hour and a half to
Season.
2 hours a day with the
Well,
weights.
that's all right.
I don't lift heavy. Everybody thinks that I'm in there lifting the heaviest
Yeah.
weights and
Yeah.
whatnot. And that's what I teach a lot. Like I teach a lot of younger kids how to lift because I have so many friends in their 40s now that still lift the same when they were 21, and they still look the same as when they were 21. And I wonder why they haven't changed. There's so many people that think if you lift heavy weights, you just get huge. Well, you get big and bulky, but you don't get cut.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
up until I was about 30, 31, I was 330 pounds.
Holy
Okay, I was
God.
big. I walked a flight of stairs, I sounded like an asthmatic Darth Vader. Right? It was horrible. And I ended up getting really sick. I tried dieting down over and over again over the years, and I just loved food so much that it would last like 5 days, and I was like, hello, Pizza Nova. I finally met a coach that just made things make sense to me. And I ended up dropping, I booked my very first photo shoot in advance, so I knew I didn't have any excuses. I paid for it up front, and I dropped 57 pounds in 9 weeks for my first photo shoot.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I've stayed lean since.
Wow.
You know, I go up 10, 15 pounds, but I'm so knowledgeable about what I'm doing now
Yeah.
and dieting and eating organic and all of that. But it just comes down to lifting smart and not heavy. It's
Yeah.
like contracting
Okay.
the muscles to give you shape. Because if I was 330 or even if I was 300 pounds and I wasn't developed the way I am now, like I'm known for always being on point, walking on the set with a full 8-pack
Yeah.
veins, like I'm known for that. And I always want to be known for that. Rob Archer's ready. I'm ready! you're not going to develop shape if you're just lifting heavy weights. I use, you know, moderate weight, and it's all squeezing, and I try to teach so many younger kids that it's like, you're never going to get anywhere if you keep lifting like that, because you're not using the muscles, you're using joints and ligaments.
Yeah.
So, and so many people think, you know, you yell and scream and throw stuff around, that's what lifting is, and it's like, no, you're an idiot. This is lifting. But people think I do a lot of crazy things, and I don't. I lift smart. I've had some of the best coaches around. Normally when I'm getting ready for a photo shoot, I'll use Mike Van Wyck or Bob Weatherall. They'll get me dialed in, because you never, when you're getting dialed in, do it yourself, because you get focused, you get tunnel vision on certain things, and I could be, you know, just looking at my arms and my shoulders, but then I'm holding water here, so you always have to have somebody, and you're tired at that point too, and I basically hire them to yell at me, so I actually go in the gym. It's like,
you were good at that. You could. Yeah.
I can yell.
You can yell.
Sure.
You can do it.
well, any woman I dated, I found out can yell and scream and get really mad, even if they've never done it before. It just happens when they date me. Yeah.
I've never been this angry.
Because you never dated me before.
Isn't it great? No.
Yeah. I should come with a waiver. Yeah. A consent form or something. Warning.
Now, of course, you have done two of our basically favorite shows. You've done Lost Girl and Defiance.
Yeah.
And
hoping Defiance gets picked up for a third season.
There's no if.
It has to. Like
Defiance will be
this
picked up.
season, I got hooked on the show. Totally hooked. And you know who did it? Was Ms. Jamie Murray, who plays Star Tar.
Yeah.
I am addicted to her character. Wow. Like,
yeah.
season one, I watched a couple of episodes, just the ones I'm in. But I was only around, I was like, oh, here's Bioman.
Yeah.
And now he's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that was fun, thanks. And it's like, when they called me for season 2, I was like, oh, I'm in it? Wow, okay. And they gave me more lines and whatnot. Hopefully they do that for season 3, more lines and more muscles.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, I started watching this season, and I haven't missed an episode since. You know, Jamie Murray's character is just, I fell in love with it. She's just rocking the show. And working with Jim Murray, who plays Niles Pottinger, and getting to be his dummy assistant. It was a lot of fun, because I think he's a brilliant actor. And if you've been watching season 2, Jim Murray, he's amazing with his facial expressions.
Yeah.
And even I've wanted to jump into the TV and just smack his smug little frickin' face, right? But he does so well at playing that prick.
Yeah.
He's amazing at it. But being able to like just stand there and watch, I've taken some of his things and I've used it in other shows, you know, like,
That's cool.
you know, his facial expressions, and being able to work with such amazing talent. Like I said, I'm not a starstruck person, but meeting Graham Greene on that show was massive for me. You know, like huge.
Yeah.
You know, and he's the most laid back person. And here I am, screaming, Maverick, dancing with wolves, you know? It's like, and I had to refrain myself from being a stupid fan around him and saying, oh, you know, I love Dances with Wolves, but what if you guys showed up 5 minutes sooner? It could have been called Wiping with Leaves, right? You know? I didn't make a tool of myself with that, but I did ask him for an autograph.
Yeah,
For my mom.
Green, right?
For my mom.
Yeah, for your
And now we're at the point where it's like, hey, do you want to go out for steak?
Yeah.
I saw
2 years
that.
ago, it's like, Graham Greene, hey, you want to go for steak? And working with him is always fun.
Yeah.
It's always fun.
Totally sent him the friend request today because he actually chatted on. He posted.
Oh, he does, yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like, oh, that's Graham Greene.
yeah,
All
totally.
he can do is just ignore my request, so I'll send it to him anyway.
No, he will. He'll.
But I'm like, well,
He's just getting involved with this whole.
Yeah, he's getting into it more.
Like you'll get an email like for the Defiance, like when it's like, what the hell's all with this Twitter crap? I'm trying, but somebody help me. So he's out there trying, and I can just picture him. But yeah, he's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And then for season 2, working with William Atherton.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm walking on the set, and forgive me, I couldn't remember his name, but I'm looking and I'm walking on that, and I'm done up as Churchill at the time, and I have to, you know, remember that
That's your
because
clue?
at times when I'm walking in, I'll go in, I'll say hi, and people are just struck odd, right? And it's like, I'll talk to us like, why are they being dicks? Dude, you're a 300-pound blue guy. Oh, that's right.
Oh yeah.
Right? So as we're walking in, I'm looking and I'm like, is that the professor from Real Genius? Because that was one of my favorite
Nice.
80s movies, The
Nice.
Popcorn in the
I
House.
love
You know what I
it.
mean?
Yeah.
That's it's the professor from Real Genius. You know Val Kilmer, Real Genius? Yes, that's him.
Yeah.
Holy shit! So working with him was really, really cool. So, yeah.
And I gotta give you snaps up for Real Genius because you could
Yeah.
have gone the easy route with Die Hard, but you went for Real Genius.
I went with the true 80s movie.
Yeah.
I could have
I love
copped
that
out
movie.
with the very easy Holly Hunter, you know, smacking the reporter. But no, I went old school. I
Yeah,
went
you
Real
did.
Genius.
I don't know if that's a
One of the
favorite.
best 80s movies
I love
ever.
That movie.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
I'm
haven't seen that in a
very,
long time either.
Yeah.
Like a
I'm
very
very
long
big
time.
on old 80s comedies.
That's
I
right.
think
Yeah.
80s comedies and 80s horrors is where it's
Oh,
at.
all right.
80s horror, absolutely. Jason's
Really?
my guy.
Okay.
Yeah, you're either a Freddy, Michael Myers, or Jason
That's
guy.
right.
Yeah, and I lived out in the country all my life, like I said, on 15 acres in the forest, so my old man decided to buy all Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
That actually.
when I was speaking to my
Very well.
therapist when I was 8, on why I was afraid of the dark and trees,
Hockey.
Possibly doing drugs and having sex.
no, that was earlier
Yeah.
today. But anyways,
You got over that fear.
but I even have Jason tattooed on my back.
No way.
Yeah,
Dude,
I have
that's awesome.
just the face mask and everything. I actually last year auditioned for a movie that's going to be I believe it's coming out this year, and it's for a cannibalistic killer, and I was the lead for the horror, right?
Oh.
And so I went in and I didn't even know I was doing an audition for it. I just, you know, I thought I was going in to meet the director. Like, it was kind of like, yeah, he likes you. I was like, so I come in and I'm like, there's 20 guys in the room, right? And I'm like, what are all you doing here? This is mine. Right? And then I had another guy come in and he's like, what are you doing here? And I'm like, I'm auditioning for this character. He's like, oh, so am I. I looked at him, I go, yeah, but I thought they wanted big guys. Right? And he's like 40 pounds less than me, right? But he's still like 6'6", 6'7". So just to put that into his head a little bit, it's kind of me being snide, because I know it would have bugged him. But anyway, so I went in and I did the
And then I
audition.
ate him.
Right?
And then I ate him.
Yeah. His body's still probably laying in that alleyway, but. So I went in and I did the audition cold. I had no clue what I was doing.
Wow.
I just went in, he told me what he wanted, and I did what made sense to me.
Nice.
And there wasn't even a day delay. He called me that night and he goes, it's yours.
Nice.
And I'm like, really? And he's like, there's nobody that could even come near to what you did. You were
Okay.
amazing. And I go, well, thank you, but that's kind of a double-sided compliment, don't you think? And he's like, why? And I go, well, one, you told me I was a great performer, which I enjoy, but at the same time, you also told me I was frickin' nuts and insane, which is true, but
But you don't know me
I don't
yet.
know how
you
you
don't
got
know
that out of the audition.
you watch what I do on your set. But anyways, there were some things that got delayed, and then finally it came through, and I was supposed to shoot it last August, right when I was shooting Warehouse 13, Lost Girl, and Defiance. And they were shooting way up north, and they were gonna
Oh,
fly me
no.
in, out, and then try to, and I was just like, I can't do it now.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
but what I did when I did get that role, back to the tattoo, because blah, 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 I thought, finally, you know, I grew up loving,
Yeah.
you know, Jason and the horrors. Now I'm finally, like every kid's dream, to be the main horror guy in your own.
Yeah.
Right.
So I felt like, you know, I gotta, you know, pay homage to what I grew up on, and I put Jason on my back, only to find out that I couldn't take the movie now, so I'm walking around with a Jason tattoo for no reason.
For next time.
And I was, yeah, that's what I was saying. I was
It's
like,
gotta
oh,
be
for the
good
next
stuff.
film.
Yeah.
And that next film did happen. I ended up working on a movie called A Christmas Horror Story,
Yes, you
Yeah,
did. That's
which
right.
which is going to be
Because there's
released.
other people that we know in that too.
Okay.
And I'll show you the pictures since nobody's seen Krampus.
We'll see. Unicorn.
But it's got a quick release date. It was amazingly put together, and it's going to be released this November.
Oh, wicked.
So I'm pretty stoked for that. So now I got my monster roll, and Krampus has never been played in this way ever in the history of films. He's never done it like me. It's pretty creepy. I've watched the playbacks, and even I've been like, oh, it's yeah.
Dude, creepy.
Yeah.
I don't know where he came from.
With a capital F. But it's I have this stigma for always doing things with like maybe 1/8 of my clothes on. And I'm not talking in the bedroom, I'm talking on film. And like last year, it's like, okay, here's this 290-pound guy, 6'6". Let's put him in a huge sweater in August outside. So when everybody's watching that Final Defiance episode, where I fight the Ghouliani and I'm outside with Grant and Jim, I'm wearing that sweater. In between every single take, there was an SUV with air conditioning blasting. So, cut, boom, into the car, in and out for like 2 days. Now Krampus, without giving too much away, I'm basically wearing a leather Viking kilt sort of thing. Okay?
Cool.
The rest of my outfit is body paint. That's
awesome.
Wow.
The only clothing I'm wearing is this little leather kilt thing.
Comfy.
Yeah. And I shot outside in -20. Yes. But this is where it gets good. Okay, we've only got a few more scenes to shoot. Awesome, it's 4 in the morning. We think it's great if we throw water all over Krampus.
Oh.
Well, I guess I'll be peeing sitting down for the next week, but yeah, sure, throw water all over Krampus in -20 at 4 in the morning. One of these years, I'm going to get the right show in the right season. Oh, take my clothes off in summer. Absolutely. Snow pants in winter? Check. You know? But for now, no. Even the very first episode of Lost Girl, I played the long tongue hammer guy, for those that didn't know.
Yeah.
That was January, February, March. It was somewhere around January, February, March. And we shot that scene. Everybody was like, wow, it's amazing how they made your breath like that. No, it was really freaking cool. I was sick after that. And yeah, because we were in in Hamilton, and in this old steel factory or old glass factory.
Yeah.
And if you know those type of factories, it's actually colder in there.
Inside,
the steel holds the cold, so it's like you're in a freezer. And we saw how much clothes I was wearing that day. So it's just like my career. Yeah. A lot of cold medicine for my career. I'm trying to get a sponsorship. Balls and Neocitrin, I'm here for you. You know.
Fisherman's friend.
I will never suck on a fisherman's friend.
Wow.
Dun, 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 dun.
Told you, vanilla pudding. Anyways.
Bringing it
You're
back
here
to
for
that.
the X-rated show. There's no filter on my mouth. There's a lot of wrong things that come out of here. So I don't get invited to family dinners anymore. So saying Bush at the family dinner doesn't go over well with Mom. You were saying?
That's awesome.
Who's running this show?
This is how it goes
All right.
every time. This is what happens. We just let them go and we just sit there and go, keep going. Run with it.
You special little guy, you just keep talking. Yes.
Now I want to jump ahead, but first, how long does it take to get done up as Bioman? It's gotta be
Bioman, in the first season, when it was full body, if I remember correctly, it was about 4.5, 5 hours with 2 guys working on me.
Oh, crap.
Yeah. And then the second season, because they just did my face, and then they did some arm stuff when I was fighting, like 2 hours. It normally takes about 2 hours with 2 people doing the face, because this part of my face is real, but the forehead and the whole head part, the head part's fake. So it sits on, so I have a bigger Cro-Magnon man type of head. And and then my body heat can't escape, right? So all the time on set, I'm sweating from the corner of my eye. And it's a lot of fun. And then I'm wearing contacts too. Yeah, and then those boots, those high boots, like I was walking around like, you know, I thought they should change my name to Helen Keller last year. That's how I felt. You know, I was sweating out of my eyes. I couldn't see. I couldn't walk. I was like a cross between Forrest Gump and Helen Keller, you know, walking around on set. It was good for my image. There's special bio man. Get him a hooked on phonics, something, Milosha. But yeah, and then so the second season was about 2 hours, and then when I did Krampus, it was stop go. Every time I left the trailer, every time they stopped doing something. The first time they put me together was 8 hours with 3 effects artists.
God.
I couldn't open my mouth. I could only open my mouth just a tiny little bit. I had no nostrils. The nose is fake. It's totally, I had to plug my nose full of tissues because then all the snot, sweat, it's all started to find crevices. So you have like, you got a booger coming out of your mouth. Awesome, thank you.
Save that one for later.
Just leave that for the effect.
Wow.
Yeah. So the artists were great. They were, you know, my special effects artist, Shane and Graham, and on Defiance, it's so much fun.
Yeah.
You know, people like, how do you sit there? I was like, I got the best group.
Yeah.
Like these guys, I look forward to going in. 'Cause a lot of laughs and poking fun.
See,
And,
that's, yeah.
you know, I've been very fortunate on that show that you get along with everybody. It's a lot of fun. So
Yeah.
I love my effects artists.
That's great.
Yeah, they even come over. They shoot pool every now and then, and
Dude,
yeah.
that's all right.
So yeah, they're good peeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier to sit in that.
Yeah.
I did feel bad for them last year though, and I will say this. I was really hoping that they were going to bring back another Bioman at the end of the season. You know, just a fast Bioman and kill him off in an episode or two, right? And then bring back more of a prominent one in season 3.
Yeah.
So the day that Churchill got killed by the Giuliani is when I was notified that there was no more Bioman for the season.
Oh.
So I had to
So
finish.
mean.
I had to finish the day professionally. I was torn apart inside, right? Because I'm very passionate about what I do, and I felt really bad. I texted Shannon Graham the next day, but I sat in that chair while they started taking everything off of me, and my chin's just going, and I had tears pouring down. It was the most awkward, silent 45 minutes of my life. Like, what do 2 grown adults say to a crying 300-pound man?
It'll be fine. Have an ice cream.
Want to cuddle?
Well, the great thing is, though, to stay on Defiance, is that we've established that all the Biomen look alike. Or we've now established that
they
there's more
wanted
than
to make a
one,
little bit of
so-
a change from season 1 to season 2, and I'm hoping season 3 Bioman will look the same. I hope they found what they were looking for.
Yeah.
I like the changes that they made. I just wish they showed more muscle, you know, because that's what the fans want to see in the Bioman characters. That
The
muscle
next
guy.
Bioman won't be
You know,
so
that's
well
what the
dressed.
Bioman. You need that kind
Yeah.
of that character, that overly muscle character. So I know
Yeah.
that's what the fans are screaming for. So hopefully they give some more muscle this year, not cover it up.
Well, yeah, I mean, I've seen on Facebook that not only are people asking for more Bioman, they're also asking for more Bruce.
Yes.
Yeah.
The
The
fans
Bruce
have really been
Mackenzie
rallying.
They
relationship.
really
They-
have.
There was a lot of peed off fans when they found out that Bruce wasn't in season 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there was nothing that I could say because I just I never heard from the studio and
Yeah.
I didn't know what was happening, and just staying professional and being very happy that, you know, Paul and Chris and everybody, even though I'm not doing anything on season 5, as far as I know, they still include me in everything and whatnot.
totally,
So you know, you saw the pictures the other day.
Yes.
Chris is milking my tit. You know, it's a typical Saturday night. You know, lots of fun.
As he does.
But
as he
yeah,
does.
Lost Girl is my baby.
Yeah.
You know, that was the one that really gave me you know,
Yeah.
a chance, and I got to learn and grow on the show. And having the most amazing actress to work with,
Yeah.
Ksenia.
Ksenia's adorable.
That woman has done so much PR for me, for my name, and just me as an individual. I'm so thankful for her, and everybody asked me if she liked the character Kenzie, if you know, what's she like, you know, hi, I like you, Bruce. Oh, so Kenzie, it's just like, hi. But you know what? She is more amazing than the character.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
She is the most genuine, sweetest individual I've ever met. And I remember talking with her in some of the earlier episodes, because when Bruce got introduced in episode 303, and when the Morgan was yelling at me, that was just a test to see, you know, how the audience was going to take to me and whatnot. And people started, well, who is he? And they started inquiring. So they wrote me in into 312 and 313 as well. And so Ksenia and I were talking, and I ended up saying, you know, I want people to start taking me more seriously and stop treating me like such a meathead and giving me 2 words or 1 line. It's like, what am I supposed to do with 2 words or 1 line? How creative? I go, and she's like, well, what do you want? I go, I want to be tested. I want to be treated like an actor. So then, you know, with a little, not really complaining, but just kind of saying, I want more. I get a call from production and saying, oh, by the way, you're going to read poetry to Ksenia. And it was a buddy of mine, like, I'm friends with this person. I'm like, yeah, ha, 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 whatever. So I get the script 2 days later. We should have read poetry to Ksenia. Right? You have no idea how much I rehearsed that. I had one of my female friends walk every step with me when doing that whole Cara Morgan thing, so that I was actually nervous for that day with her. You know, I was like, oh, nervous of this, like, 5 foot nothing, 95 pounds, and here I am. I could put her in my pocket, and I'm the one going, oh. And so the day that that I did the poetry, right before we were about to go on, she came over and said good morning, and she goes, so, you're finally getting your big day. I was like, yeah, I know. So, and I was like, I never thought it would be this intense. And she goes, well, you asked, you got. She goes, do you want to rehearse it? And I'm like, no. And she's like, why not? And I go, looking in your freaking eyes and just for fun? No, I'll do it on set. And I don't think anybody was prepared for me to actually do it properly. I think I found out that a bunch of people were waiting for me to bomb that last day, that they didn't think I could do it. And when I went through the first read, like when we were just like doing blocking and whatnot, I remember just going, those eyes are so blue, so incredibly blue. And my first scene has to be with this incredibly gorgeous face with eyes that can slice and dice, right? And it was just like, here goes nothing. And I just locked into her eyes and did what I did. And she was actually like, holy shit. And she looked at the director, was that not great? Holy shit, whoa. And then after I shot that day in that scene, the director came over and hugged me and everything. I walked to my trailer crying again, just like, just tears coming down, and it's like I proved everybody wrong.
Hell yeah.
And then I got brought back for some really fun stuff in season 4.
Wicked.
You know, the sushi table. Which
It's amazing.
they're telling me the idea. Okay. Sure, I'll lay in sushi for 3 hours. But it turned out to be a lot of fun, and it just, you know, gave that, you know, that mean-looking Bruce that soft side with because he's so submissive with Kenzie. And outside of Kenzie, he's pretty good at what he does, even though he screws up in the end. He's still pretty vicious and cutthroat. But Kenzie is that key to where he's very soft and submissive, and she's the only one that can bring Bruce down. So, yeah. I love the Berushi episode. I love the doing the webisode. That was they gave me a lot of lines for that. I was so happy. It was one of the most fun days. So
That's awesome. Yeah, and Ksenia's just
she's just amazing. I just adore her. I even carry her bags around on set. Like I totally play the Bruce character in real life with her. You know, I stay in character. She needs to walk. She's like 95 pounds with 105 pounds worth of bags to drag around, right? I pick them all up with one hand, you know. So yeah, even off camera, I'm pretty Bruce with her. Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, I'd probably destroy anybody that hurt her. You know.
Well, as you would.
Yeah,
It's like Ksenia.
it's the best, man.
And now, Toronto, of course, has been home to Adam Sandler and Peter Dinklage over the past few weeks.
Yes, they have.
And,
Yeah.
and you kind of got tapped to be involved in some of this.
5 weeks of auditioning.
Yeah.
And
For
cold
some little
auditions.
no-name
Cold auditions
actor.
are really hard. You know, to go in and have a cold
Yeah.
audition and you know just get in on your merits without knowing anybody.
Yeah.
Especially a Sandler film. And I always go in pretty serious, but I try to let them know, you know, I'm a lot of fun, but
Yeah.
I've got to keep that serious aspect as well because most of the characters I audition for are pretty intense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was my first time getting to kind of be a little off the wall. And I remember this, when they called me in, I stopped before I went into the audition room and I closed my eyes and I took a breath and said, don't give them what you expect them. Just be yourself
Yeah.
and give them who you are.
Nice.
And that's what I did. And I was just kind of crazy and zany and goofy. And they liked me, so they brought me back. And then I had a panel of 7 people that wanted to see my kooky zaniness. And not knowing that the Christopher Columbus is sitting in front of me and I'm auditioning, saying all these really stupid things. I guess they liked me, so they brought me back.
This guy's an idiot. Let's do it.
He's perfect! And during that auditioning, like I said, I auditioned on and off for almost 5 weeks. And this is news, nobody knows this because I kept it hidden. And with mass amount of emails, why haven't you sent me my photo? Why haven't you done this? Well, the reason that I haven't done my emails and photos and everything is because on June 8th, I played my very first baseball game since I was 18. My financial advisor thought that it would be a great idea for me to go out and do something normal. And it took a little bit of talking into because I don't want to show up and play a baseball game as Bioman. I don't want to be known
Yeah.
as showing up to play a baseball game and have to sign autographs and
Yeah.
take pictures when I just kind of want to do something normal.
Oh, sure.
I said, just tell people I'm a bouncer or something, that I'm just some big guy. So, this is how karma works. My first game, my first batter, the first hit, a ground ball. I bend over to pick it up and I rip my Achilles off. Completely. Boom, right over. I heard it too. It was so embarrassing because when I walked down to the field, getting there, there's nobody in the entire league that looks like me. Nobody. And everybody's watching every move I make.
Okay.
The other team, my team, it's their first time seeing me, and my first play. So I get up, and my foot is just, I can't
Oh,
put
no.
any, it's
Oh,
just
my God.
hanging. I can't move my toes, nothing. And they're like, what did you do? And I go, I just tore my Achilles off. It's like, are you okay? And all I kept saying, my film. Are you okay? The film. Yeah, but are you okay? The film. That's all I could think about was this film. I didn't care. I even drove myself to the hospital. And
With one foot. I
with
bet.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
So I drove there, and they confirmed I tore it off, and they told me it's going to be about 2.5 to 3 months before I start rehab. And I was like, I need to walk in 5 weeks. Yeah, no. Don't doubt me, I'm going to do it. And I ended up getting, with some help of great friends, the best sports doctor in North America. Am I allowed to say his name?
Sure.
Dr. Gallia, who took care of Donovan Bailey, our big Canadian sprinter, when he tore his Achilles. He's flown out to take care of Tiger Woods. Now this guy is the mecca of sports doctors. Like, he's just a genius, and his waiting list is 5 months. Yeah, I didn't like that either. So I'm lucky I had some very persistent friends, and they got me in to see him. and I walked onto that set in 5 weeks. I was in a lot of pain when I did it, but I did it and I kept a straight face, and I was actually expecting them to kick me off the set, you know, because I could be issued a liability or, you know, whatnot. And I was gonna lie and say, I just rolled my ankle, I'll be fine. But when I got there, I have a pet peeve with trailer ADs sometimes. I always get on sets where you can never find the trailer AD. And here I am in this air cast, hobbling around trying to find where in the world this trailer AD is, right? And it was like a bad version of Where's Waldo. And by the time I finally found it, I was so annoyed. And people were like, "Oh, I ripped my Achilles off. I didn't even try to hide it. I tore it off. Yeah, it's gone." And,
Oops.
yeah, I just told her I didn't care at that point. I got on set and I put my boot on and I walked on, and it's a typical Adam Sandler movie. All his cronies are there, you know, Kevin James, Alan Covert, all great guys, all so tiny. Oh, I never, it's just like, oh,
Well, hello there.
well, hello! Aren't you a little fella? You know, none of them were over like 5'8". It was just, I've been watching these guys my whole life, and I could probably lift his entire entourage by myself. But they were really great. Adam came up to me, Alan came over to me, and they're like, you know, what did you do? How did it happen? I just told them straight up. And then I even told them, I go, you know, I've spent about $8,500 out of pocket in the last 2.5 weeks just so I could walk onto your set. And they're like, you did? And I go, yeah, there was no way I was missing this gig.
Yeah.
And they were so blown away with how determined I was to do this film that they were amazing. They worked around my injury. The second director would be like, you know, how's your foot? And I'm like, every answer, it's great. And so I'm like, oh. And he's like, put your air cast on. We're not going to shoot below your waist for the next hour.
Nice.
Oh.
Stand this way, we're going to shoot. And they worked around me, and they were just amazing. So I was really
That's
thankful for that, because I was so scared. I was like, this is the movie that I need to be in. I need this movie.
Wicked.
And yeah, it was really nerve-wracking that first day. So, and you know what? A lot of, when you're doing a gig, you never know what you're going to get, because everybody is a persona.
Right.
Okay? Most people look at me on the street, I'm the drug dealer, I just got out of jail, you know, I do this and that. I don't drink, I don't go to clubs, I don't party, I'm like a Star Wars nerd. I got an entire room full of 80s vintage toys.
Dude!
I do. Thumb wrestlers in the package,
Get out of town.
Vintage Popeye stuff from 1927, 42.
We're coming over.
Yes. There is a complete nerdery, and that's how I am, but it's my persona.
Yeah.
You know, so people go, well, doesn't it bother you when people like look at you in disgust and this and that? And it's like, no, it actually tells me I'm doing things right, because if they believe me walking down the street that I'm this, that, and that, then they're going to believe it on camera.
Yeah, for sure.
So, yeah, most people look at me and they don't realize, you know, I'm a stay home kind of, you know, keep to myself.
We were
low-key
talking about
guy.
it today.
Yeah.
We were going,
Yeah.
we said he's either going to be really scary in person or really intimidating, or he's going to be a big teddy bear.
Oh, I'm going to beat the crap out of you after the show.
The
But
cameras are staying on, but wait.
Still
You
on.
just make one phone
and then I'm going
call.
to steal your lunch money for that.
But yeah, it was just the total impression I got is like, yeah, he's this big guy, but I bet you he's a really good guy, and he's just a really nice guy. I'm sure of it. And yeah, you've
Well, thank
definitely
you.
shown it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I mean, you've got that the sense of humor that definitely meshes with like how Sue and I kind of think. Just so it's just like this is gonna be a hoot and a holler.
I have nothing to prove. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
know
and
I'm a
that's-
big guy.
and that's a good way to
You
be.
know, I know I'm a big guy. I don't have to walk around with my chest puffed out.
Yeah.
You know, imaginary lat syndrome. You know what I mean? Walking around like I'm bigger than anybody. No, I know who I am. I know what I'm about. I know where I'm going, and I'm just Big Rob.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to be a dick to me, I'll be a dick to you too. You want to be my friend? Well, we'll chill,
see.
man.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All those vintage toys, we're gonna have to be friends.
Yes. Other people can't get to them, but I'll invite you over to see my toys.
Oh yeah.
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 I loved buying back things from my childhood that I remember saving my
Exactly.
allowance for,
Yep, that's exactly
asking
what
for
we're doing.
Christmas,
Yeah.
or asking for Christmas and not getting, and my brother got it instead.
Oh
Yeah, here I am, 35. Yeah, I got my Optimus Prime. I'm going to send it to my brother because he wanted it. I got it. I know we were 8 when we wanted it, and I'm 35 now, but I got it.
Wicked.
You know?
That's awesome. Because we started going to Toy Cons, I think, for that very
Yeah.
year.
That's how I got into it.
Yeah.
I went to a toy expo in Meadowvale
Mhm.
yeah.
in 2010. A buddy of mine asked, did I want to go to it? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, well, there'll be a ton of Star Wars stuff there. Okay, I'll go. So
Twist that arm.
we get there, it's my first time having anything to do with any of this
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know what to expect. And there's like 6 stormtroopers all done up outside, right? I'm like, oh, let's go get a picture with them. So we walk over.
Aren't you a
And
little short
do
to
you
be a
mind
stormtrooper?
What's that?
Aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? Come on, little guys!
Yeah. So we went in, and when we took a couple photos, and it was really cool because they all kept their helmets on and
Yeah.
everything, and walking away and hearing in stormtrooper voice, shit, that guy was huge.
This is amazing.
I was cracking in stormtrooper voice. It was amazing. It was pew pew. So we get in there, and he's like, well, what do you want to get? And I was like, I don't even know what this thing's about. I'm just looking around and seeing stuff that I was like all stressed. Like, I wanted that and that, and it's just like, should have brought a black card with me so I could buy the whole damn show.
Yeah.
But we just started walking around, and I remember when Return of the Jedi came out, and I wanted the Jabba the Hutt with his little goofy guy on
yeah.
and that thing
Yeah,
that lit it,
yeah.
and I got that for Christmas. And I was like, I would really love to have that again
Right.
on my desk. And it was the first thing that I saw,
No.
and I bought it, and I bought a little Yoda,
Nice.
and bought a few other. And then I bought 2 in the package Skeletors.
Dude.
Oh my god.
I have
Amazing.
normal Skeletor and Battle Armor Skeletor. So it was a really cool, and that's what got me hooked on it back in 2010. And I started going online and having fun bidding on Stormtroopers. I'm
eBay.
addicted to Stormtroopers and Darth Vader.
Wicked.
Yeah. So I've got about 70 of the 1979 Stormtroopers.
Wow.
Yeah, like
awesome.
all on their little stands. I got hooked on the whole bidding process.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like,
Dude.
and then you bid, and
Then
then
you
you
can
forget
feel so
that
bad if you lose, or
What's
if
that?
you get outbid, and it's like, you've been outbid. Well, fuck that.
Exactly. It's like, thou shalt not have my stormtrooper. And then you overbid, and it's just, I just paid $27 for a stormtrooper, and the guy probably upping the bid was the one selling it under a different name. So, but it's fun because you will puff a joint, as you're bidding, and then stuff shows up in the mail, and it's like,
I don't remember that.
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of like
Cool.
Christmas.
It's a present I got myself.
It's a present to myself.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's certain
Happy
times where
surprise.
a mass amount of vintage stuff just starts coming in the mail, and I start thinking, what did I do on Wednesday? What did I do on Wednesday?
Those 8 hours.
Smoked a joint and spent $500 on Star Wars stuff. So
There are worse ways to spend a night.
It's true.
I've done that too.
Yeah, for Wednesday.
That is fantastic. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Well, we need to hit like a Toy Con again soon. Just
Yeah.
'cause I found the 1977 McDonald's Star Wars glasses. And
I've seen
Like Burger
those.
King
Yeah.
gas stations
Yeah.
and stuff.
I have the 1982 set of the Smurfs from McDonald's.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I know the glasses you're talking about because I've looked at them and I'm like,
love those glasses.
you want to be? It's like,
Because I had the, I had a great Muppet Caper one from like that.
I remember
had as a
those,
kid.
yep.
Yeah, I've had the one, and then every time we'd go to the Toy Con, I found the set. So I'm like, I'm buying that.
the Great
set.
Muppet Caper had that kind of stuff around, like the
Yes. Yeah.
the drawing. It was
Yeah.
like I remember
Yeah.
having those. I had them all.
Those are the ones. Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah,
McDonald's,
I-
as much as I can't stand them, they're marketing geniuses.
Oh my god, yeah. Especially back
Right.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with the food.
No.
The fries, treat of the weeks, and whatever frickin' toy was
Yeah.
there.
Yep.
You know what I mean? That's what McDonald's was.
Yeah.
Fries and toys.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, the toys aren't as good now.
Toys suck now. I mean, I'm sorry, McDonald's, and we'd love to have you as a sponsor at some point, but no, your choice.
I remember when McDonald's made those like little GoBot things at one
I
point.
remember
Yeah.
those.
I have a bunch of them still. I remember when McDonald's did all the hockey cards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have 50 packs unopened. Those gold hockey cards from
Oh my
when I was
God.
13 years old.
Nice.
I have 50 packs unopened. Yeah.
Speaking of on the
Nerd.
packs,
Nerd.
I'm getting ready to move apartments, and I found my unopened pack of original Raiders of the Lost Ark cards with the gum still inside it. You can
Nice.
feel it, and Battlestar Galactica,
I got a pack
Oh,
of Star Wars
right.
cards that it's unopened and has the gum inside.
like original with the red cards or the orange cards.
I think it was one of the because there
We're
was
nerdy
three.
here
There was like
now.
red, blue, orange.
Yeah,
right?
red,
There
blue,
was
and orange.
three.
Yeah,
And I can't remember now which package it
That's
was.
wicked.
It was, but somebody gave it to me as a birthday present.
Yeah.
I found it somewhere.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Put it in my card and I'm like,
Yeah.
this is the best birthday present ever.
Absolutely.
Pretty much.
He gets it.
I get it. I get it.
That is, oh my god, that's awesome. Rob, I'm so glad you came in.
We're nerds.
I'm so glad you guys
You
invited me.
guys-
This was a lot of fun.
Because I loved hearing about all the stuff, but to find out that you share the same geeky passions that we do,
Oh yeah,
it's just
huge
Yeah.
nerdery.
That's
I
really good.
love all my vintage stuff. I think that's when toys were real toys.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like you go in today and I see the equivalent of today's Star Wars figures. It's like $12. It's made
Yeah.
of a really crappy plastic. They don't
Yeah.
move the same.
yeah.
They don't
Yes.
look the same.
Sure.
No.
That's not
I
going to
don't-
stop me from buying them
Yeah.
next December. I'm just saying I will be
Right.
spending a shitload of money.
On the new ones or the old
Yeah,
ones?
on the new ones.
I only buy the
2015.
old stuff. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll buy. I'll have to.
Well, G.I. Joe,
Yeah.
the new G.I. Joes I'll buy. Like the Storm Shadows and Snake Eye,
Oh, yeah.
I'll buy them and put them into a time capsule because Storm Shadow and Snake Eye will never not be
No,
cool.
they'll never know.
Yeah,
They
exactly.
will never not be cool.
Style. That's
Yeah.
who they are.
I remember the hardest G.I. Joe figure in the world to get was Firefly. You had to order him in with proofs of purchase.
Oh my god, that's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
That's right, and I have a Firefly.
Dude.
I had to wait until I was 36 to get a Firefly, but I now have a Firefly.
You value it more now.
That's right.
Absolutely.
It needs more. Yeah.
My big boy. But of course, I'm always with everything that I do. I'm as much of a good-hearted, positive energy and karma person I am. I've
Yeah.
always gravitated towards the like Skeletor, Darth Vader,
Sure.
Cobra Commander, Destro.
They had the cooler
Love for the bad
vehicles, they
guys.
had the cooler weapons.
They had the best
cooler
weapons. They had the best girlfriends. They had
Yeah.
the best of everything. Yep.
I don't know, Darth Vader's girlfriend was a bit of a putz.
She wasn't?
She was. She died from a broken heart. Come
Oh
on!
yeah, that was lame.
Come
But I
on.
blame that on George.
Alright. George, you suck.
She didn't really know how to fire a blaster either, 'cause she was doing this like pew
Yeah.
pew thing.
The pew pew.
Pew pew. I'm like, you're shooting at the floor! Why are you
Well, in the first Star Wars, there's they messed up on editing, but there's that part where
The stormtrooper hits his head?
you hit his head. You can even hear the ding.
I love
Like
that.
You know, for those of you that don't know, is
Yeah.
when they lasso across the bridge and they're coming up from
Oh, there's
behind.
that one too. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
Luke and Leia,
yep.
Yeah.
best scene of the whole movie.
Love that.
So awesome.
Because yeah, once you see that stormtrooper hit his head in that one shot, you can never unsee
You can never
Yeah.
unsee
Yeah,
it.
it's always there.
And it was like, I knew it was there, I just kept forgetting to look for it,
Yeah.
but I'd watched it so many times on the small screen that with the first time I saw it when they re-released them
Oh yeah.
on the big screen, and I was like, ah!
That's right.
I started cracking up, I was like, oh my god!
But it's
I
amazing
finally
you can
saw it.
watch that film for 25 years and
Yeah.
not know until somebody
Oh,
points
yeah.
it out.
Yeah.
Because you're not even looking at it, you're looking at the last of them going across like Luke and Leia. So,
I love it. Love it. Rob, this has been amazing.
thank you guys for having me down. It
Oh,
was
thank
totally
you.
awesome.
Oh man.
Thank you.
Room. Try to give a good strong handshake
Right?
there.
Well, I was single for a long time, so that handshake is very strong.
Oh, I go. Glad I didn't have to say that one, but anyway. Sue, hell of a show.
Hell of a show.
Hell of a show. That wraps up Monday for us,
Yeah.
which is amazing. We are back
That's
here again
fun,
tomorrow night, and but you'll see that when it gets posted. Stay tuned for watching more Raw when that one gets posted. We will tweet the shit out of it. And yeah, thanks for watching, everybody. I'm gonna get up and turn off the computer now. So
We'll make small talk.
that was.